How did you end up playing literally the entire bluegrass repertoire on every single instrument?
Just because I was bored. You know, like music is just kind of like what I do. So it's like if there's something I can't do, like I gotta do it.
Nathan, it's really good to see you.
It's good to be here.
Thanks for jumping on to the channel. For those watching this interview, this guy's blowing my mind. It's been a while since a musician really blew my mind the way Nathan does. He's actually up for Instrumentalist of the Year for IBMA.
Yeah, momentum instrumentalist.
Momentum Instrumentalist. And the band Remedy Tree, who I've been following for a while, is also up for an award, the Momentum Band of the Year.
Correct, yeah.
And I'm just going to pick Nathan's brain about his social media and how he plays every bluegrass instrument, some of the stuff around Florida and bluegrass and whatever else we get into, who knows what.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
So I actually met your father in a festival in Perry.
Yeah,
Is he your first bluegrass teacher?
pretty much. He's my only bluegrass teacher.
Were you into it as soon as your dad got you into it?
That's a funny story. I mean, I was kind of, always sort of interested in it. I was always interested in music. For a while, I didn't really care too much about bluegrass. I knew all the songs and I listened to it all the time, but I didn't really have a like fire under me to do it. I guess it was either sixth or seventh grade. Must have been sixth grade. I was really into binging The Office. When I got to the episode where Ed Helms is like playing banjo, when he becomes manager and he comes out and he's like playing banjo and everybody's like really annoyed. He's just doing what he wants. And I was like, that's really funny. Like I should do that. So I was like, Dad, you play banjo, right? Like, can you teach me how to play banjo? He was like, sure, yeah. And then he showed me a few rolls and sort of taught me how to play the Ballad of Jed Clampett.
I think everyone always wants to know what your first instrument actually was, so it was actually banjo.
It wasn't banjo. I started on guitar, actually. I wasn't super interested in it. I just played rhythm.
How did you meet Remedy Tree?
Just sort of through the Florida circuit. We played a lot of the same festivals. Actually, the first time, like I had seen them a couple times, but the first time that they struck me, like caught my attention, was at that Perry festival a few years before you would have met my dad, I think. I might have met you that same day. Specifically, I remember Gabriel was doing I've Endured, and I was like, man, I really like the way his voice like cuts, like it's super clear. That was the first time I like kind of had them on my radar. Eventually, my buddy Bryce Griffin joined the band and we jammed a lot. I was like, okay, now this is cool. Like, I wish I was in this band right now.
Oh, but they wish that you were in their band.
Yeah, I think they did. They were. I think Abby told me or has said before that they were intimidated to ask me to join the band. They thought I was too good for them, and I thought that's ridiculous.
And how'd you learn to play like dobro like Jerry Douglas?
Oh man,
And mandolin like Sam Bush, and then the fiddle, bro? What the hell?
man. I guess I sort of have an affinity for copying people, and I try to branch off when I'm actually playing, out for people. But when I'm home, what I'm doing is just like learning people's stuff.
Could you imagine only having one Tony Rice CD at a time? Only
Oh
10
man,
only 10 Tony solos, and you had to digest that until you saved another $20, so you could
yeah,
actually
yeah,
drive to the store to buy another Tony Rice album.
right. Sounds like torture.
But in some ways, to me, you seem like you were able to put it all together and understand the subtlety and nuance of this stuff. But to me, it seems overwhelming to get into Tony Rice now and have everything not only at your fingertips, but then like all these different YouTube channels of everyone breaking down every solo. Were you ever overwhelmed learning bluegrass in the digital age?
Not necessarily, because I was so immersed in it from such a young age that like it was kind of just like part of my life, and it wasn't like I was tackling some big thing. I was really just diving into figuring out the stuff that I already love. I already listen to this stuff all the time. I need to figure out how it works. The more I learn different instruments, the more they kind of like open gates to things. Like I would, practice a lot of like JD Crowe backup, and his timing is like kind of Tony's timing. You have to know Tony's timing to play JD's timing.
People ever use the word prodigy or gifted, that kind of stuff? And do you ever feel like I practiced all the time? It undermines how many hours you've listened and practiced?
Yeah, I sort of grappling that with that recently. Like, I don't exactly know, like, obviously there's psychological aspects that, that you are born with that give you certain abilities in certain areas. And there's also, your upbringing that affects that. And there's also just your interests that affect that. I think the majority of it for me is upbringing and interest. Because like if I think back on it, like I learned quickly, but I wasn't like, like shredding instantly, I still had to work at it. And maybe I had to work at it less than other people. I mean, you can never know somebody else's life, but I've been extremely, blessed with having a musical family and having all these nice instruments around me to pick up whenever I wanted to. I don't have to play on some cheap instrument and like hate it.
I see you with all these great instruments, and I'm like, who sets up all these instruments? And they're always
Yeah,
got
I mean,
seem
a
to
lot
have
of
all
them
the
aren't set up very well, but they're okay.
good enough to play like literally like Sam Bush and Jerry Douglas
Yeah.
and Tony Rice. And it's man, it's also like you don't just play the Tony Rice that everyone plays. It's like the subtlety of Tony stuff that a lot of people don't get at all. Like what was the one? And it was like the
Well, yeah.
what was the one? It was like the intro. Was it It might have been Wayfaring. Was it Wayfaring Stranger? Was like the intro
Yeah,
chord
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah, man, that was full of like this like super Tony mojo. How do you achieve that, man?
Man, I don't exactly know the answer to that. It might just be the time listening to it and trying to, trial and error emulating. I learned that what you're talking about like years ago. Like I knew that when I was like maybe like 15 or 16, but it obviously didn't sound like that back then. Like over time, studying Tony, the more you learn, the more it, revises the other stuff. Some people see my learning ability and envy it, and I see other people's, discipline and, you know, having their life together, and I envy that. So it's all a trade-off.
You have a unique gift for social media. Do you have any social media inspirations?
Yeah, I've always been interested in content since I was a kid. I was like the kind to watch like gaming YouTube videos. I would make some like gaming YouTube videos here and there just for fun. So I've always been like kind of savvy to it. I didn't really have any specific inspiration as far as my social media went, but I do have like maybe this is obvious, but I have a tendency to like if I'm interested in something, go in 100%, like perfect it. Once I started, like I had a goal to like start consistently posting. Gabriel was pressuring me to do that a little bit because he had been keeping up the Remedy Tree socials for a long time in a good way. And he was wanting us to, start our social media so that it would funnel into Remedy Tree. So I started posting consistently with sort of just the goal of just doing it as consistently as I can. Because of that, I just couldn't resist figuring it out, like how to do it right. So I was, like watching like Instagram gurus, which is kind of annoying because they're all like for businesses. A lot of it doesn't apply to you, but you can kind of, like kind of figure out how to work around that stuff.
Some of my favorite ones I've seen, the banjo professional still plays out of tune.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that one went pretty viral for some reason.
Because it's funny. You teach a lot of lessons.
I do here and there. I don't have a lot of students, maybe like five.
Do people reach out to you for lessons a lot and you just don't have the time to do it?
Yeah, I don't usually advertise. I just wait for people to ask. I like doing lessons a lot. I think I'm a pretty good teacher, which was something I like was pretty shocked about because I usually like I would have assumed that I would be a terrible teacher because I don't struggle with the same things that a lot of people struggle with. From what I've heard from my students, I have been doing a good job. So
And you probably don't use any tab or anything like that.
no, no, I don't.
What's your take on tab and reading music, sheet music?
Honestly, um if I'm just gonna say my opinion without any nuance, I'd say I think tab's pretty useless. The benefits you get from tab are just not what you want. They're not the benefits you want to, have, in my opinion. If you're serious about music, I think you should learn by ear.
How much of music theory do you take into consideration?
I try to learn as much as I can. I know, like, I took one music theory class in high school, and I did okay. But I mean, I'm not like an expert by any means.
People, I find it interesting that you don't use tabs or don't read music, but you like theory, which I understand perfectly because I kind of like because you can come at theory without reading music, but a lot of people don't even really think about it that way. Would you say you're more of that kind of theory guy, where you think of it theory on the fretboard and how it applies to the songs that you're doing?
Yeah, I use it as necessary. I don't really use it to inform my musical decisions at all. I only use them to like explain what I did or like explain how the song goes. I have to think about theory if I'm like trying to explain it to somebody. Like it's not in my mind at all when I'm playing.
Remedy Tree is going to continue just blowing up, probably, right?
Yeah, it's got no choice to. Because Gabriel is not going to rest until Remedy Tree is huge.
Do a lot of people try to pick you up to join their band, pull you away?
Not often. I've had a couple offers, and some of them have hurt pretty hard to turn down. I like what we're doing in Remedy Tree, and I don't want to move to Nashville.
McKinley hollered, McKinley squalled. Doc said to McKinley, I can't find the ball. You're bound to die. You're bound to die.
Can you share your secret on what software? So if people watch this video, they'll actually know how you made that cloning machine.
Yes. Okay. So, well, the audio is recorded on the Logic Pro. I just recorded it like any other studio recording, and mixed it. And then I just set up a tripod with my phone on it, so it doesn't move. And then I just recorded me, basically lip syncing all the parts. I threw all those into Final Cut Pro, and they have a really convenient magnetic mask tool, is what it's called. And it just analyzes the whole thing and basically does the masking for you. Because, traditionally, video editors that have not had the privileges that we have today have had to, frame by frame mask stuff and, or green screen it, and I don't have a green screen. It cuts the background out behind you, so you just have you. And, there's a little bit of editing to make it look more natural, but I'm not an expert on it, but I just looked up a YouTube video and figured it out.
Well, Roosevelt's in the White House doing his best. McKinley's in the graveyard taking his rest. He's gone. He's gone.
That one got a lot of great replies, right?
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't like a viral video, but it got a lot of good engagement. I post every day. I haven't missed a day since like last year. I think. I think maybe I missed a day like a couple months into my like posting every day thing, but I think I've pretty much been every day since November. It's like kind of just a challenge for myself.
Did you ever watch any of Marcel's content?
I've watched his content for a long time, so I'm sure I've learned a lot from interviews he's done and stuff. I love Dave Benedict. I love him as a player and also as a content creator. I didn't know how good he was for a long time. I just knew him from his content, but then I started listening to his music and I'm like, gosh, this guy is insanely good. And his wife is insanely good too.
And like you, David is the most humble dude. How does Fiddle fit into all this? Like, we haven't really talked about that.
That's also a funny story. I was kind of dabbling in fiddle a little bit for a while. Like I was not good at all. I just kind of played here and there. I have this old fiddle that I think my great grandfather found in a dumpster. So I was kind of learning on that, and I went to IBMA. This maybe was like 22 or 23, and I met Jake Goforth. I don't know if you know him. He's playing with Carson Peters right now. We were jamming, and we were meshing pretty well. We were getting along musically. At the end of the jam, he asked me if I would play fiddle with him for a gig in February, which, it was like September. And I was like, well, I mean, I don't really play fiddle. I mean, I don't know if I'd be good. And he's like, you will. So I was like, okay. So then I got back home and I bought a nice fiddle and I practiced for those few months. And we played at Bluegrass First Class. And I mean, I wasn't fantastic, but I didn't sound like I'd never picked up the instrument in my life. And since then, if the graph is like, whoop, it's probably gone like this since then, just barely getting better now and again.
Most good guitar players or good mandolin players, like, it makes sense. You can even give someone a string instrument that they don't even know how it's tuned, like a Greek balalaika or something, and you can just play all your tunes on one string. But the fiddle bowing is totally different,
It's whack. If you play a picked instrument,
can't do it at
it's
all.
whack.
I've tried. It's not my thing.
I'm still not great at it. Like my bow arm is not very good at all, but I get by. And the dobro is also I was kind of inspired to do that when David Walker let me borrow one of his dobros that had belonged to his father. And I was playing with one of my dad's bands. I would play dobro in it every now and again because he would want to take me to gigs just in case somebody didn't show up. So I would just be there, and then I would have nothing to play if they did, so I just played dobro.
Dude, I remember going to Swanee in the early, like, back in the day when I was, like, in college, and Jared Walker was, like, 10, and Corey was, like, 13.
Yeah.
And I remember jamming with those guys back then and thinking, like, man, I wonder what Jared's going to be doing, like, in, like, a few, man, that kid's really good.
Who would have thought?
but it makes total sense, that,
Yeah.
like, these kids that were so great, it's kind of cool to see them become the greatest around.
Yeah, I mean, man, it's really insane to have somebody that you like know from town like be selling out stadiums, in a band that's selling out stadiums. Like that's crazy. Like I've known Jared since I was a kid and he's just like up there just wowing people by the thousands. Okay, well, Mickey was just asking if you wanted to hop on, but if you're not home, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, no rush.
I would be like 20 minutes, so yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
Tell Gabe I say what's up, and
Yeah, will do.
and I'll catch you hopefully soon, my friend. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, peace out.
Later.
I think I covered good stuff. I think I have enough for a 20-minute video in there.
Yeah, it's very entertaining.
Jumping up and jumping down, hearing over the wire fence.